What's up, snappers? Welcome back to the channel. Drewski here. Today we're gonna be looking at the brand new card Dormammu to see if he's worth your precious resources. We're gonna be looking at his keys, synergies, counters, and some decks that I brewed for him. But wait, before we do that, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I do weekly reviews of the brand new card in Marvel SNAP, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that notification bell right now. Now let's get back into it. Pardon the interruption, but I'm running a giveaway on YouTube for the Pax Bundle. So make sure to follow the instructions in the description to enter in, and good luck to everyone that's entering in the giveaway. Pardon the interruption, but I should address the elephant in the room: high voltage Overdrive. Of course, a lot of creators, including myself, know that Kid Omega is very overpriced. Definitely don't get him. Don't spend the $100 to go grab him. I would say I'm very disappointed in Second Dinner's decision on making things so expensive in the shop. Hopefully in the future things will get addressed and maybe things will get a little bit more appropriate priced. We will see in the future. Hopefully things change and will be for the better. So unfortunately, Kid Omega works very well with Dormammu. I wish I could include him with these decks. I personally am not going to be getting him until possibly with tokens or whatever they do to address the situation. So I would say, if anything, you see Carnage or any low cost destroy cards like Nico, then you can sub them in for Kid Omega when you have the card. All right, thank you for listening to me, and let's get back into the video. Now the question is, who is Dormammu? Let's check it out. So Dormammu in Marvel SNAP is a 7 cost, 11 power card with the ability of Game Start, beginning summoning ritual, add step 1 to hand. So for the first summoning ritual is a 0 cost, 0 power card with the on reveal ability of merge your highest power destroy card with Dormammu to continue. Step 1 out of 3. The second summoning ritual is a 1 cost, 0 power card with the on reveal ability of Dormammu steals 1 power from each card here to continue. Step 2 out of 3. And the third and final ritual is called the summoning ritual, a 3 cost, 0 power card with the on reveal ability of destroy 2 of your characters here to summon Dormammu. Step 3 out of 3. All these rituals are spells, so all of them will banish after they've been played. So I believe Dormammu will evolve the destroy and possibly negative affliction decks. I believe that this card has the potential of being very fun, very exciting. Destroy is definitely a very popular archetype in Marvel SNAP, so if you love destroy, then you should definitely pick up Dormammu. Now let's break down the pros and cons of Dormammu. So the first pro that I want to talk about is that's a 4 cost with 3 powerful effects. Luckily, this card doesn't have the problem like the ancient one with a very expensive spell. So I would say in general, the cost value of the powerful effects, I think is definitely worth it. Another good thing about Dormammu is that destroy and steal are good abilities in Marvel SNAP. Very popular. Destroy is super popular in Marvel SNAP, so if you enjoy destroy, then definitely Dormammu is your card. And steal, or aka negative affliction type of cards, Dormammu could work in that type of shell as well. So if you like those 2 archetypes, then definitely go get them. The ritual spell starts in the hand, thus making the steps reliable to accomplish. Luckily, the step 1 card starts in your hand, so you should be able to get the engine running of Dormammu. It shouldn't be as hard to accomplish like cards like the ancient one where you have to play the card and then run the spell again. So luckily this card should be a lot easier to accomplish the ability or the whole ritual for Dormammu. So now let's talk about the cons. It's an all-in archetype. I would say to get the most value out of Dormammu, you definitely want to follow his ritual and do the steps in order to get his engine going. But the other supporting cards, they are technically there just as, you know, support pieces for Dormammu. So it really depends on how you want to deck build. If you want to go all in, sure, Dormammu will get tremendous value, but it really depends if you like that style of deck. So at times you have to choose between playing a skill or a character card. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of energy in Marvel SNAP. It really depends if you build for that, but in general, there's going to be a lot of situations where you either choose between playing a skill or a character, so cost management is very important. The last con that I want to talk about is that destroy archetype is very predictable and easy to counter. I would say a negative affliction is probably going to be okay, but the destroy archetype is definitely going to be around Dormammu more, I would say. So be careful of getting countered because destroy is definitely very predictable. Now let's take a look at the key synergies and counters for Dormammu. So the first synergy that I want to talk about is Nico. Of course, Nico has the destroy spell in her arsenal, so you definitely combo Nico as a destroy piece with Dormammu, getting that very cheap, easy destroy spell. Definitely very good for Dormammu. Carnage is another great synergy for Dormammu, being a very cheap 2-cost card that destroys. And then of course, Null is a great pairing with Dormammu. With all the destroying that you're going to be doing on the board, Null just keeps growing and growing in power with Dormammu. And just like I mentioned, unfortunately, Kid Omega works very well with Dormammu. I would love to include him in this list, but unfortunately, I would say a lot of people at this moment of the recording will not have Kid Omega, so I would say Kid Omega is definitely an honorable mention with Dormammu. So now let's talk about the counters. Of course, Cosmo is a great counter against Dormammu. Dormammu's skills or spells are all on reveals, so you definitely have to be careful of Cosmo. Armor is another great counter against Dormammu. Of course, Dormammu, the shell, loves destroy. So if you face a armor, GG's. Luke Cage is another great counter against Dormammu. It's not the best counter, but it does counter one of the spells that steals power. So unfortunately, if they are running Luke Cage, then that spell won't really do much. Now let's take a look at the decks that I brewed. I think they're pretty fun and competitive. Let's take a look. So the first deck that we have is called Dormammu Destroy. I believe Dormammu, of course, will work well with the Destroy archetype. I believe that this type of shell or this type of engine will work well with Dormammu's ritual spells. Nico Minaru, like I mentioned, with their Destroy spell, definitely very valuable. That's probably the spell that you can be aiming for the most with Nico. X23 is here to gain more energy for your next turn. You can use X23 as a Destroy fodder, use Carnage or Venom on her, or even use Dormammu's last spell to destroy her again and then get Dormammu on the board. Hydra Bob, I know, is a weird inclusion in this deck, but the value of Hydra Bob, if you destroy Hydra Bob and then use Dormammu's first ritual spell, he should be able to gain Hydra Bob's power. Carnage is a great early destroy card here with it being 2 costs. You could even sub him out for Kid Omega once you get him, but you can use Carnage to destroy cards like X23, Hydra Bob, Nimrod. Killmonger is great with a destroy type of list. You could counter your opponents, or you could use him to destroy cards like Hydra Bob, X23, Nico Minaru, all for death and null, and even for the Dormammu spell. Venom is a great addition to this list. You could use him to absorb the power instead of destroying it, and he brings a lot of value to cards like null and death. Deathlock is another option to destroy your cards. You could use them to destroy X23, Hydra Bob, Nimrod. Galacta is here mainly for powering up cards like Nimrod or any of the other lanes that you need power with. Nimrod is really here as a target to be destroyed. You could use Galacta with Nimrod, or you could even use Dormammu's last ritual spell to destroy the Nimrod and gain more value with more Nimrods on the board. Null, like I mentioned, gains all the power from all the cards that you're going to be destroying. You're going to be destroying a lot of cards, so he should be pretty big at the end of the game. And then we have Death here. More than likely, she'll be pretty cheap in cost with all the destroying that's happening on the board. Now let's take a look at my second list. So this list is called Steal and Destroy. So the idea of this deck is to steal power from your opponent and destroy your cards, maybe even bring them back and reap the benefits of all the destroying. I believe Dormammu will work well with this list, especially being able to destroy cards and even steal power from them. Silver Sable is here to steal power from your opponent, so a very great cheap 1-cost card. And you could even destroy the Silver Sable after using her. Nico Minaru, like I mentioned, destroy spell is definitely the #1 goal of using Nico Minaru, or you can even pump out some demons and destroy them. X23 is here to give you more energy once you destroy her. You could use Killmonger, Carnage, Venom to destroy her. Cassandra Nova is another great stealing card, especially with all the Arishem or Thanos lists that we're facing in the meta right now. Killmonger is here to destroy cards like Silver Sable, Nico Minaru, and X23. And with all the cards that you're destroying with Killmonger, you'll definitely get death cheaper. Venom is here to destroy cards in the lane and to absorb that power and not to lose that power in that lane. Laffy is another great stealing power card. Definitely run him in the later turns to gain that power from that lane. Enchantress is here to specifically counter cards like Luke Cage, which is a huge counter for this list. Or you could use Enchantress to disable any of the ongoing cards that you face. Morgan Le Fay is here to bring back cards like Silver Sable, Nico Minaru, or even Cassandra Nova if you destroy them. And then after you bring them back, then you can always play them again. Death, like I mentioned, will be very relatively cheap in cost, so definitely have Death in this type of list. Now let's take a look at my third and final list. So this list is called Dormammu Got Skills. So I believe Dormammu will work well with this list with all his skills that benefit Nicholas Scratch, Merlin, destroying cards on the board, especially when you're junking your opponent, giving negative affliction to cards on your board and then sending them over to your opponent. The hood is a great addition to this list, especially when you want to clog your opponent. You could use the hood and then send him over with Annihilus. Nicholas Scratch, like I mentioned, will benefit off of all the skills that are running with this list, like Merlin and Dormammu's. Nico Monaro is here for her destroy spell, of course. Carnage is another great cheap destroy card, so it depends if you have junk on your side of the board. You could use Carnage to destroy cards, or you could destroy a card for Dormammu. Surge is really here to help out with the curve with this list. Merlin is amazing in a clog style list like this. You could use him to remove the ice cube on the side of your board, and then all the skills that you use will benefit Nicholas Scratch. Red Guardian is one of the best tech cards in the game. You could use him to disable the cards on your opponent's side, or you could even use him to disable the Luna Snow Ice Cube. Venom is just another option on your side of the board to destroy cards for Dormammu. Luna Snow is great for her energy. You could even use the Ice Cube as fodder to send over with Annihilus. You could Red Guardian the Ice Cube. You could even steal power with it with Dormammu's Ritual. The Sentry is amazing in this list to use the Void to send over with Annihilus, or destroy it with Carnage or Venom or Dormammu. Annihilus, like I mentioned, is great to send any negative power on your side of the board over to your opponent's side and to cause that disruption. Now let's take a look at the snap packs that are featured with Dormammu. Dormammu is with Esme Cuckoo, Morgan Le Fay, the Ancient One, and Nightmare. Esme Cuckoo, Morgan Le Fay, the Ancient One, Nightmare are already out in the game, and then Dormammu is debuting on June 24th. Just like I mentioned in the past, I would say Esme Cuckoo is definitely worth skipping. If you like that style of card, then totally go get it, but I would say in general, definitely can skip that card. Morgan Le Fay, I would say, is popping up here and there in a lot of the decks that I've seen. I would say she's definitely very niche in her value. It really depends if you like destroy and discard. I even featured a deck with Morgan Le Fay in it. So again, if you like that style of play, then definitely go get her. The Ancient One, I would say, is definitely a skip. Her cost is too expensive of the Tau Mandela's skill. So I would definitely say the Ancient One is definitely skippable. Nightmare is definitely very fun right now. I would say through testing, he's definitely more on the fun side. I would say he's probably not a must-have, but if you like that type of chaos or clippable plays, then definitely Nightmare is your pick. So remember, guys, that you have the potential of getting previous season cards like Surge, Prodigy, Elixir, and Zorn with these cards that are here. And remember to have 5k tokens before opening a seasonal series 5 pack, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get the feature card that you want. Now let's take a look at the community predictions for Dormammu. So the community has said S tier 29%, A tier 47%, B tier 19%, and C tier 5%. So overall, the community believes that Dormammu is worth a A tier rating. Here's a community review from Just Breathe. Thank you again for your review. They said, I think he's actually good because the spells don't cost much, and the third spell helps with destroying cards, so you don't even explicitly need it in a destroy deck. So setup is actually minimal. I'd say Dormammu is A tier going into S if you can get a 411, at least doing things that you are already going to do. So I agree with this statement. Definitely Dormammu doesn't have to be technically in a traditional destroy archetype. You saw that deck that I brewed, he's kind of a little bit flexible in a way, and the spells definitely help with the destroy element. So again, you probably should have some destroy cards with you, but the spells do definitely help. So thank you guys again for your responses. Make sure to follow my community posts about the brand new card in Marvel Snap, and thank you guys again for your responses. Now let's take a look at my star ratings for Dormammu. So for competitive, I gave him a 3.5 stars. I'm a little bit worried about the consistency of his skills. It really depends if you can destroy that card early on to get that first ritual going. I would say there's gonna be some cases where you don't draw the right cards, right? So I would say it's definitely a boom if you can get that engine going, but if you're not able to get that engine going, it's gonna feel really, really bad. For fun, I gave him a 5 stars. You saw the animations that are included with him from the dead video. I would say Dormammu is definitely going to be very fun. A lot of people like Destroy, so if you love Destroy, then Dormammu could be a staple in that type of deck. For flexibility, I gave him a 2 stars, just like I brewed. Mainly, he's going to be in destroy style list. I wouldn't say he's a plug and play type card because it's technically, like I mentioned, is an all-in type of archetype. You're mainly going to be focused on destroying cards. So I would say flexibility, 2 stars is fair for him. Future changes, 2 stars. I would say for the most part, he's well balanced. They did buff him before he released, so it's a little bit worrying, but I would say in general, he's probably going to be fair for the ritual and, you know, getting the engine going. Potentially, maybe the skills will be reducing cost if he performs really bad. So I would say in general, if anything, he'll get buffed. I don't really see him getting nerfed, to be honest. Now let's take a look at my final review of Dormammu. Is he worth a snapper skip? Let's take a look. So for series 1 to 2 owners, 1 star. Unfortunately, Dormammu requires a lot of cards that are in 3, 4, and 5. So I would definitely steer away from Dormammu. I know, of course, Destroy is a relatively affordable archetype, but unfortunately, you're gonna be missing a lot of cards that work well with him. Series 3 owners, 2 stars. You're gonna be in the same boat as 1 to 2 owners. Unfortunately, the cards that will make him a lot better are in 4 and 5. And for series 4 and 5 owners, 3.5 stars. Again, most of the pieces or most of the cards that you should have should work with Dormammu. I'm sure you can build a certain archetype with him, so it could work. And my overall star rating for Dormammu, I give him a 3.5 stars. And with that being said, I would say Dormammu is a snap. If you like destroy and negative affliction style lists, again, if you don't play destroy or enjoy it at all, definitely skip Dormammu. He's definitely more than likely going to be only in destroy. So again, it really depends on your collection level, on what you enjoy. This card can definitely be classified as a big bad in Marvel Snap. So if you like the big bads, then definitely pick up Dormammu. I think the fun factor is definitely through the roof. Competitive, I would say I'm a little bit iffy about, but if you can get the engine going, I would say Dormammu is definitely worth it. So what are your thoughts on Dormammu? Am I completely wrong? Did I miss any synergies? Did I miss any decks that he works well with? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I would love for you to be a part of this amazing community here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next Sniper Skip. Happy snapping.